Sri Krishna Parabrahmane Namaha. Sri Sadguru Paramatmane Namaha. Sarva Maharshibhyo Namaha. The Lord explains how to act without being bound by karma. 10th Shloka. ब्रह्मण्याधाय कर्माणि संगं त्यक्त्वा करोति यः लिप्यते न स पापेन padmapatramivambhasa. Substance. He who acts placing all actions in the eternal Brahman, giving up attachment, is unaffected by sin like the lotus by water. Commentary. The doctrine of Karma Yoga is restated here. All actions should be surrendered in the eternal, and all personal attachments to the fruits thereof should be given up. There should be no feeling of personal doership. Such a worker is not affected by sin. The idea is illustrated by means of a simile. The lotus leaf is in water, and yet it is not tainted by the water, rolling over and around it. Similarly, the expert in Karma Yoga is engaged in 1,000 activities, but he is not touched or tainted by sin in any way. By the knowledge he has acquired, he knows that all objects and actions are only reflected images in the Supreme Brahman. He is himself that. So, there are no desires or attachments for him. Having themselves escaped from the torments of karma, they work for the spiritual uplift of humanity. They are free because they know the truth, and they have surrendered everything to the Lord or the eternal Brahman. Question. Who is not bound by karma? Answer. He who has surrendered all actions to the eternal Brahman, who has given up all attachments, is not bound by karma. Question. How? Answer. Like the lotus leaf in the water. The yogi acts without attachment. 11th Shloka. Kayena manasa buddhya kaivalairendrairapi. Yoginah karma kurvanti sangam tyaktvatma shuddhaye. Substance. The devotees of Karma Yoga act for pure self-purification with body, mind, intellect, and also senses, abandoning all attachment. Commentary. For self-purification, Nishkama Karma is done for self-purification. The yogi works with his body, mind, and intellect without egoism or attachment. He has acquired such control over the senses that they are free from attachment and aversion, raga and dvesha, and so they are described here as Kevalaha. It seems that the perfect yogi makes the instruments of action work in their proper fields, even as a mechanic makes the machine work. By such work, the mind becomes absolutely pure and liberation is thereby attained. The liberated yogi continues work so long as the vehicle of the body, upadhi, remains. But all that he does is only for the sake of others, for the benefit of mankind. The seekers should work in that spirit and attain self-realization. Question. How can the mind be purified? Answer. Work without egoism or attachment purifies the mind. Question. How does the Nishkama Karma Yogi act? Answer. Abandoning all attachment, he works with the body, mind, intellect, and senses. Question. What is the result of such work? Answer. Purity of mind. The different results of Nishkama Karma and Sakama Karma are stated. 12th Shloka. Yuktaha karma phalam tyaktva shanti mapnoti naishtikim ayuktaha kamakarena phale sakto nibadhyate. Substance. The harmonized yogi, abandoning the fruits of action, attains final peace, while the non-united one, impelled by desire for the fruits of action, is bound. Commentary. The harmonized yogi attains eternal peace because he is free from desire and attachment. The non-integrated man suffers bondage because His actions are impelled by desire for enjoyment. Freedom is attained by desirelessness. Bondage is caused by desire. The perfected karma yogi enjoys the eternal peace of Brahman, and the Gnana yogi also enjoys the peace of the eternal. Peace, supreme peace, is the goal of the two types of yoga. Both lead to self realization. Peace is the direct result of non attachment. All the restlessness, frustration, ill will, hatred, and struggle are caused by attachment to worldly objects and thirst for pleasures. When the yogi discovers higher joy in Atma, untainted by any disturbing factors, he finds no relish for the lower pleasures of the material world. And this non attachment leads to supreme peace. So, the aspirants should analyze the cause of suffering in the world, and when he analyzes the problem, he would naturally find out that the attachments are the root cause for all the storms and tempests of his mind. Give up desire and attachment. Peace is yours. This is the Lord's message. Question: what is the fruit of Nishkama Karma and why? Answer: the peace of the eternal is the fruit and the reason for it is non-attachment. Question: what is the fate of the man of desire and why? Answer: he is bound by the wheel of samsara and the reason is desire. Question: what then is a cause of liberation and bondage? Answer: non-attachment is the cause of liberation and attachment is the cause of bondage. Question: what is the way to supreme peace? Answer: desirelessness. The state of the yogi who has mentally renounced all actions is described. 13th sloka. Sarva karmani manasa sanyasyaste sukham vashi navadvare pure dehi naiva kurvanna karayan. Substance: mentally renouncing all actions and self controlled, the embodied being rests happily in the nine gated city, that is, body, neither acting nor causing others to act. Commentary: the principle of happiness in life is explained here. First and foremost, the senses should be brought under control. Vasi means a man of self control. If the senses and mind are not under control, even the conquest of the world is of no avail. Man cannot be happy. Therefore, having controlled the mind and the senses, the yogi rests happily in the body. Vasi sukham aste. The yogi should renounce all actions mentally. That is, he should give up the sense of doership and the attachment for the fruits of action. The body may work, but the dweller in the body is completely at rest because he knows that the mind and the senses are functioning according to their own nature, and he, the drik, seer, is just a witness. There is no identification of the self with the functions of nature. So, the principle is to abandon all actions in the mind. The body, according to its own nature, goes on acting according to its own laws. This mental renunciation is karma sannyasa and not abstaining from work as idlers and incapacitated persons do. When one attains this karma sannyasa, he rests peacefully in his own state. He neither acts nor causes anything else to act. The individual self rests in Atma, unattached to and unaffected by anything taking place in and through the nine gated city of the body. In the nine gated city means the body is described metaphysically as a city of nine gates: two eyes, two ears, two nasal passages, mouth, urethra, and anus. The self is the ruling monarch of this nine gated city. In ancient times, every great city had high gateways in different directions. When these gateways are fortified and strongly guarded, the king remains safe and secure. But if they are undefended, enemies can easily enter and disturb the city. Material enjoyments and pleasures are the enemies who come in through the gateways of the senses, enter the mind, and shake the throne of the monarch, harassing him in different ways. But the man of self control, Vasi, keeps those gateways closely guarded, and so he rests happily in his own state. Question: how can man attain happiness? Answer: by self control and mental renunciation of all actions, man attains happiness. Question: is this renunciation physical or mental? Answer: it is mental.